What's up YouTube, my name is Yus and today we're having the last episode of our afrobeat series. This episode is all about mixing and mastering. It's very important for your beats and I'm just gonna take you with me in my FL studio. I got the trackouts of the beat we made the past episodes and yeah, I'm just gonna show you where I start with the mixing and also what I use for mastering. So let's dive in my FL studio. So as you can see, I've loaded up all the trackouts here and we're gonna start off with the mixing, of course. So I loaded everything up into my mixer. The red ones are all drums and the green ones are all melody related. So I always start with the kick. It's the most important part and everything in your mix is built around the kick. So what I always do is I get to the chorus and I'll just select that like this. Like this. And I'll single out the kick and I'll just play it. Everything is already EQ'd in the past project, so I'm not gonna add anything on top of it, only if it's necessary. Okay, so as you see right now, it's hitting 0 decibels, and I always try to get my kicks at around -8 decibels or -10. It really depends on the kick, but I always keep them between 8 and 10 decibels. So that's where I'm gonna put it right now. Just gonna put it on 8. And after the kick, I always go to the snares because that's the snares on the claps, because those two are the things that gonna keep each other in balance, and you can build everything around the kick and the snare. So it's a bit loud right now. Like that. So there are two ways you can do this. You can just slowly put the fader down until you're happy, or you could do the other way around. You're gonna put it all the way down and just bring it up till you're happy with the sound. So it kind of brings me to the same spot, but you get the idea. After that, I always go to the percussion. Because that is gonna fill up the blanks between the snare and the kick. So we're gonna do that right now. So it's a bit loud right now. So since the kick and the snare are balanced, you can just fill in the blanks with the percussion, because you're just gonna hear when it's too loud, and you're just gonna hear when it's too not loud enough. So we're gonna go to the shaker right now, and shakers and hi-hats I always do them as last because they really they really fill up the last spots of your mix. So yeah, I always like finishing off with shakers and hi-hats. Okay, so we have the base of the drums. I'm not gonna do the fills yet and the impacts because those are also very important to mix while you're hearing all the melodies and the chords, because otherwise they're just gonna clash through each other. So the next thing I always do when I've done my beat is I'm gonna work on the bass. So we're gonna load up the bass right here. I see I don't have my project in the right BPM yet. Wait. Yes. I'm gonna select this again. My bad. Okay. So you just hear it's way too loud right now. And I'm just gonna bring it down. Like that. So a friend of mine, he taught me this trick. The kick is -8 dBs. So you do that times 2, that makes -16. And that is almost always, if you have like a real clear sub bass, around there is where your bass is supposed to be. So my kick is -18 and my bass is now around -13, 14. So that's close to the 16. So I know it's on the right volume. So then I always follow up with the chords. Also way too loud. And then the melody. And just keep in mind that there's gonna be an artist on this song, so it's important that you're not gonna put all the melodies on the front of your track, because there needs to be space for the artist to put his vocal on. So always keep that in the back of your head. And as last, I always do the vocals. So since I've got the melody and the vocals right now, I can work on the fill, because that is just the transition between different parts, and it just needs to be balanced with everything, not with just the drums or the melody. So we're just gonna open that. Way too loud. Still too loud. And then the impact. Way too loud. And that's just basically how I mix my tracks. So yeah, I'm just gonna play this part real quick so you hear that everything is balanced. So everything is fitting well in the mix. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go to my master channel, and there's still a limiter on there that's really unprofessional, but I'm just gonna delete it, so it's gonna sound a little bit less loud. But I have a volume knob which fixes that. I'm gonna open my first plugin, so I'm gonna select the chorus again, and the first thing I always do is Gulfos, and it's a plugin that's an Equalizer. And it's just gonna fix up the blank spots, but when you see it in works, you really understand what it does. So I'm not gonna explain how it works, you just have to watch the tutorial for that, but it's basically just boosts certain parts which are lacking in volume. You can see as the thing moves on the Equalizer. And next up, I use invisible limiter, and I'll just limit it to -8 dBs, just so I know when I'm gonna maximize it, it's gonna be flattened till there. And as you can see on my master channel, you see it doesn't go above -8 dBs. So the next thing I do is I open up the glue, and I just have a preset that Jonas Aiden, it's a great producer, which also has really good tutorials once made on his channel. I just put it on everywhere. Sometimes I tweak it, but mostly not. And you can just copy this, and I always put it, and it just glues your track together. It's a compressor, and it's a lot of big EDM producers use it, and it works great, and I always use it. So you see the volume is lowering a bit, like -2 dBs, but yeah, it glues my track together, and I like it. So then I'm gonna open Ozone 8. I have different ones from them, and I'm gonna start with the imager. And it's really important that your bass is in mono, or mono, I don't know how to pronounce it, but so you can single this out. I'm gonna play this, and you see that it's going to all over the place, and when you place it like this, okay, so this is like really hard. 1 second. Ooh. So you see it's now nicely in the middle, that means it's mono. And you can just single out the other channels, make them a bit more wide. And as you can see, I like to work my way upper, so how higher the frequencies, how more they are stereo, how wider they are. So after I've done that, I'm gonna open my Exciter, and your Exciter is it kind of crunches your frequencies, and especially on the bass, this is very important because it's gonna make it sound more warm. So I'll just, if I put this all the way up, it's gonna sound like this. So I just do it a bit, and on the other frequencies, yeah, I just do it a bit also, just to crunch up your final product. Like that. And then the last part, because when I'm gonna play it right now, you see I still have some headroom left in the mixer, so therefore I'm using Maximizer, and Maximizer is just an easy plugin that basically just puts the volume up, and it has a very cool button. It's called Learn Threshold, and you just put it on and you play a track. And based on every part of your based on the current part of your track that's playing right now, it's gonna say, this is the kind of threshold that you should choose for this. So I always try to keep my mix, my final master between the 0 and the -1 decibel. So I'm just gonna look right now where it is. And that's perfect. So yeah, that's my master chain. So yeah, that was it. I hope you guys found this very useful. This is just my way of mixing and mastering. I'm not gonna say this is the way of mixing and mastering, but I just found out this worked for me. There are a lot of people that do it different. There are a lot of people that do it the same. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just drop them down below. Follow me on Instagram down here. You can also shoot me a DM there. I try to help everyone as fast as possible. Yeah. See you guys next time.